to the new school right now. My man Shaw.
Bunny hold up on your stroller.
South Cat. Holding it down. You know we waiting on y'all. We sit back waiting on them chariots. Hey yo, Shaw, let them know. Come on.
Talking about how much money you got, but in reality, the Lord just got you there to watch you fall. What's gonna save you in the end, but if you don't know, comprehend, choose knowledge over silver and gold. You got me going on, hey. No, we ain't the same, I'm in the UPK. Ordained by the Lord to drop the jewels to poverty. The poverty, it looks so wild when we out on this bitch. And no, we don't play no games, so stay home, little kids. It's like a sword what we say, but it's in the game like EA. Boy, know your lane like freeways, or I have to see like CJ. I got my grind and replay, but I want your life like relay. I'm at they neck, cause I'm up next, nigga. In my chariot, I pick you up from uptown. Hey, niggas swear they gotta hit, we'll batter up now. But we are not the same. I'm a priest and prophet, okay. Got money paying tithes for me. My people starving like some damn puppies. I'm a big dog, use a damn puppet. The lowest nigga in the school can probably show you something. Somebody bring me some wine. Is it my baby? That's Lil' Bae. I call her that cause she whine. I'm in my mood, that's all the way. I should've been named prime time. But I'm a prince, so call me Sharp, and I'll be quite fine. Yeah. Chariot and I'm whipping. I'll whip it like a new slave, the rose is different. Whip a devil for fun, cause he looks suspicious. Can't take the heat, we'll get your pussy ass off my list. Remember the days of old, could've booked the vision. I got a penny in my pocket, so I can't afford to skip it. Can't afford to forget it. Affected by it, me and my niggas. Dear Lord, let me get them, okay. In my chariot, I pick you up from uptown. Hey, niggas swear they gotta hit, we'll batter up now. But we are not the same. I'm a priest and prophet, okay.
You already know we preach the prophets of the Lord. It's only us and nobody else, man. We waiting on them chariots. Scoop up all my niggas. This is One West. You know who.
No, we go to ground.
Let's take it to the concrete real quick. Let's take it back to the bricks.
You know when they come up.
You know what we do. We represent for our niggas, man. Our niggas, let's go.
Already was born ready. I'm all ready. I'm saying this now, making sure that the more ready. Yeah. We got some drop-offs, battle formation, I'm waiting for you to pop off. Right after you make your first move, get your rocks off. Next thing, your head to the dirt. We are not soft. I took a loss, but nah, I ain't panicking. I be making moves, you staying still like a mannequin. Think you got the force, but shit, I'm feeling like Anakin. Hit the chick with the lightsaber, might save her. Doing moves tight major with light paper. And H-Town on them blades like an ice skater. Yeah, at that One West Passover. Sit down, take a seat to the class over. Far from sober, but I ain't puffing on Doja. Bartender, bring me tequila. Hold the soda, shit. Hold the ice too, flood it like a typhoon. We can get 6 shooters, 10 paces, high noon. We had Player Street, all-star studded like it's all-star weekend with all my brothers. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. die for my niggas. Make sure me and the squad solidify. I'm down to ride, go to war like I did the job. You niggas whores, I'm the ball, plus I been the vibe. You can't feel me, unless you sip 100 proof. I got 100 soldiers with me, that's 200 boots. We get to stomping like a Kappa or a Q, but don't mistake me for no rapper. I'm the Jew. The streets cold, so I throw on the cover. You a bitch, don't get mad at me, get mad at your mother. Put my life on the line like I got me another. Yeah, shit. It's like I'm on another level here. You second tier, I'm pulling guns, that's on Metal Gear. It's hell out here, but shit, I die heavenly. AK equipped with the drum, it holds 70. Twin revolvers, bucket you ducks like Yosemite. Yeah, I hear a lot of rappers puffing on their enemies. I don't smoke, but I drink their tears like it's Hennessy. Yeah, nigga, but it is what it is. Ain't no nicotine, but I is with the cig. I just had a dream and I did what I did. And Philly bodies dropping every day where I live. So I don't even wanna hear about rappers. Heavy gut punch, knock the air out rappers. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. Ain't nobody fucking round with my niggas. You know who I go to ground with, my niggas. You know when they come around, if they wanna clown, then we gun them down for my niggas. For my niggas. For my niggas.
Ooh, 27 Club.
All right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Florida Lee on my top, this a Saints hat. This the third can't be been in, he a J-Cat. Nigga tryna steal the sauce, yeah, I hate that. But I ain't make the rules, I can't change that. New bottle, new wine, yeah, I can't crack. Look, flag on the play, they grabbing face masks. Niggas always saving hoes where your cape at. The only killer that you know without no face tag. Hell yeah, my bitch bad, Proverbs 31, yeah. This is not a drill, I be 30'd up, yeah. He about to crack the sky, you better hurry up. It's all bad when you see us hang that jersey up. It's mad brick, I got the blick with my cover on. He a fed, he a op, got his cover blown. Look, I'm really outside without no scully on. It's 1 West, bitch, I'm on with my brothers on. He got ranked, then he left, he broke another oath. I got the plate, we about to take another zone. They was sleeping on the team, now they comatose. Left his brother out to dry, I guess he wanna fold. Put the oil on his head, that's another soul. I try to tell him we a pro, don't do this shit at home. She unhappy, left her man, she a 304. He try to justify that shit, he broke the penal code. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Gotta watch these niggas, they be cointel. Lil' bro ain't never killed nobody, but I know he will. It's on me, yeah, where I go, yeah, that's the holy seal. My niggas itching when it's up, you better not touch a chair. Ooh, I'm with the extra, that's off the back. He ain't loyal to his brothers, how you follow that? She either working with her hands or she off her bag. Broke bitches, yeah, they done that, give me a heart attack. You see the banner, but my head, I'm a part of that. These niggas cowards, pussies, we don't want no parts in that. They let our warrior out of prison, he ain't going back. And don't be speaking on the truth, cause we with all of that. Look, before they started dissing, they was fans first. You will never catch me digging in no man purse. Really put my brick in, that's why my hands hurt. And don't be speaking bullshit, that make my head hurt. Look, I dinner burn my fingers from the Michael Drake. For the brotherhood, I dinner threw my life away. I never see him, tell him come off from their high place. We can't do it, we told them we gon' find a way. They'd rather march 1,000 deep, we rather feed the people. They wouldn't put on all black, now he reading Hebrew. UPK the standard if you speak on Hebrew. Don't think they solid, get with them niggas just gon' leave you. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship. Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar on my body, bitch, I'm heaven sent. Hey, this UPK ain't nothing, we on fellowship.
Ooh, 27 Club.
All right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Been in this shit for some years, I ain't never left. Nigga try to save his life like he's scared of death. I got Hillstar.
One West, y'all. I'm Shy Excel, man. And let me tell you something. We different over here. We big steppers. Let's go.
Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Yo, what you say? No, we don't play you out your mind. Watch what you say, that type of shit could get you lined. And if you search, then let me tell you what you'll find. The city is mine. Just a mud who became the pick of the litter. Now my name ring bells when you talk heavy hitters. Nice nigga, but don't make me transform like Thriller. Sam Cooke a nigga beat like I was born by the river. Go get her, you piss her, you get off of the shitter. Can't put you in the spotlight, you niggas are with her. Keep an eye open around for any nigga that slither. Cause it ain't no sunshine here like Bill Withers, whoa. Fuck you know about this life I live. How you gon' talk to me like I ain't lose no rib? Like I ain't lose no crib, ain't lose no kid. Ain't sleep in my car and I ain't lose no gig. Shit, I never gave an order that I ain't did. And I ain't never take a fucking thing that I wouldn't give. Always kept it a bill, homie, I ain't fib. And if I had to go sit, then I just do my bid. Yo, my whole team full of steel beams we can't fold. Your whole circle full of some squares you can't roll. That's why we always take it to levels you can't go. Talk shit, but you can see me with these hands though. If looks to kill like Cyclops, these niggas wanna see me in Pine Box. No, not on my watch. Got a better chance to rewind clocks when you quit, nigga, when time stops, bitch. Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa.
This flow is award-winning. Torment him, bomb to death, I'm bored with him. Trash him, throw him away with the has-beens. Ice cold with the flow, I'm Alaskan. You was in the fucking jungle in the past tense. I be with the lions, they my friends, Harold Baskin. And like her, they'll never find a body. Tiger stripe tracksuit, feeling like Joe Exotic. Shit, I don't know what it is, but I know I got it. Feeling like Alonzo, surgical with the shotty. All you see is skull and bones, Illuminati. Probably, I be the illest nigga to do it. I just talk shit on the beat and they call it music. I just come provide you with heat, remain the coolest. You ain't never been in the street with all the shooters. I was sipping yak with rioters and looters. Gotta keep my boots laid, shoot straight. Run up on you with the deuce 8 in a screw face. It's bad out here, my style effortless. 2 hands hugging a Ruger, so affectionate. A lot of suckers don't want war, I'm respecting it. Biggest stepper, snatch your plate, the hood starving. Cause they got beard shoot trades like James Harden. Straight from NY to Philly, we still mobbing.
Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper. Hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified one West hitters, whoa. 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 Whoa.
Y'all ain't ready yet, man. Here it come right now. Prepare yourself. Here comes the boom.
Here come the boom. Look who just stepped in the room. Got soldiers in every direction. As long as they steppin' in tune. I be in all black with the groom. Watching Babylon fall to doom. Lord know I'm ready and I know that you know that her love is deadly, but I am immune. These niggas talking rude to whom? That's a spot, you'll be moving soon, and you'll be leaving shortly. Still walking with them angels, yeah, they still enforce me. Got a whole lot of zeal, I can't get it off me. Plus I'm winning like I got a blue ribbon on me. He ain't want what, bitch, I beg your pardon. See, I knew these niggas like to do that pillow talking, so that's why I bought a Glock to the slumber party. Got it off the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West, nigga, hush. I don't wanna hear it, keep your tone down. Had a couple complications, but it's on now. So you can kill in speculation, bitch, I'm thrown down. And if you want a conversation, set his zone down. What he say, I ain't hear him, I done zoned down. Can't walk, this a low mouth. I'm 44, I'm on another level with it. These niggas never listen, so I let the devil get his ass. I try to tell him, I'm a rebel nigga. Better be careful if you ever think I'm stepping in my path. Cause it ain't no game. Stay in your lane, now I'm playing twisted metal with his ass. Got it off the gut. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Revenge to my main bitch, I think I got a crush. And she know that I got some sick shit inside me. But you know it's UPK versus everybody. Got the side, move the buttons like he Teddy Riley. Now my race through the track like a Ricky Bobby. Got it off the dust. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Gotta keep it with me, it's a must. Got it off the dust. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West, nigga, hush.
You heard what he said. If it ain't one West, nigga, hush. Watch your goddamn mouth, man. We ain't the same. We not the same. We'll never be the same. We react different. We live different. And we're gonna keep on pushing this truth until your house shall return, sucker. And y'all niggas out there, y'all lukewarm. Y'all can never be us. Cause we hot. Burning hot. Let's get it. Y'all ain't ready yet, man. Here it come right now. Prepare yourself. Here comes the boom.
Here come the boom. Look who just stepped in the room. Got soldiers in every direction. As long as they steppin' in tune. I be in all black with the groom. Watching Babylon fall to doom. Lord know I'm ready and I know that you know that her love is deadly, but I am immune. These niggas talking rude to whom? That's a spot, you'll be moving soon, and you'll be leaving shortly. Still walking with them angels, yeah, they still
There it goes. Let's try this again. Nothing. You can hear that. So maybe I have to get the volume down. All right, no sweat. Listen, if y'all can hear it, that's what we will rock with. If at any time that it goes out, again, just let me know, Baba Kashem. All right. All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatum to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Atam Bashem Yahshua to the sisters. We are the UPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other organization. Israel, pay your tithes. Listen, pay your tithes, pay your camp fees, pay your school rent, pay the Midwest Fire weekend fees, make contributions to the Preach Fund, this, that, and the third. Go broke, right? I mean, screw it. You only got one life anyway. Yeah? But no, it shouldn't have to be that burdensome. There we go. I can hear it too. Yeah, it shouldn't have to be that burdensome. But like the scriptures say, you know, you're going to know where your heart is by where you put your treasures, where you lay up your treasures. We'll actually get that verse 2. I mean, you got some examples like Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 and 20. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and whereas thieves break through, or which is just old English for through and steal. Verse 20, but lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust can corrupt, but where thieves do not break through nor steal. You know, this is definitely most certainly a spiritual journey in pretty much all of our tasks. There's a physical side of it only because our spirit is here in this physical realm. We are obligated to operate within these, 3D, 4D parameters, and in 4D, considering if that's time. I don't know if the jury is out on that completely. If they've just conceded that the fourth dimension is time, we normally just describe the fourth dimension as where the Most High would be, and that's not even necessarily definitive. But we know that the Most High does not reside in this realm in any capacity that we can physically see, touch, hear, interact with, based on the senses that we have access to. Meditation, I don't want to say that you got to go so far as near-death life experiences to have any engagement with the Most High or the angels, but it's it's usually something kind of outside of this world and often outside of our comprehension. There's a lot of work to it. Let me try to find this a little bit better. So, like when you're trying to find it in like some of the apps, you got to be more specific with the words. Otherwise, it's going to take you down a rabbit hole. There's like 109 different pages of examples for just you put up your treasure. versus if you just type in the Google chat something even kind of close in the ballpark of it, you normally get a hit. Where your heart is. Oh, and it was right where we were in Matthew chapter 6, verse 20, 21. It was right next to it. So let's see. So we read Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 and 20. There we go. Let's share this tab instead. All right, Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. You know, it unfortunately in this society, it does take money for most things. You know, us physically coming in here and building this school, the labor that we put in, you know, obviously that didn't cost any kind of monetary exchange or loss there, but the materials that we needed to accomplish this, all the little repairs, all the additions, all the accessories, the ornaments, the ornamental, the ceremonial objects that we find here and there, that does cost. Of course, we'll take donations and whatnot too, but you know, at large, that is not the world that we live in. We live in a currency exchange. What is this? A capitalist market, capitalist society. And Israel, in pretty much every socioeconomic class or system that you can think of, Israel embodies that to one degree or another. There's nothing wrong with money. Money is a defense. Let's look at that real quick. And then we'll look at the verse that a lot of people will shoot to, which is how it's the root of all evil. The root of all evil. All the evils, it's the root of. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have. So, I mean, again, you can have all, and then we talked about this before. If knowledge is the accumulation of information and wisdom is the application of knowledge. So you can have all the money, all the resources at your disposal. If you're a dummy, it's not going to do you any good. It's actually going to be a hindrance. It's going to make you more vulnerable. It's going to give you that false sense of security, and you end up making very foolish decisions, often against the counsel of your betters. And I mean, even what instinct and self-preservation might try to tell you, it often turns sour real quick. That money goes quick. Like some people, you cannot let them win the lottery. How many stories have you heard of? And it's probably not the majority of them either, but how many stories have you heard of people winning the lottery? And you know, a few years after that, they're destitute. It's, you know, if you do not have the wisdom to back that up, it's just not in the cards for you, man. Now let's look at this other verse. The love of money.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. A lot of people will just gloss over. All right, no sweat. John 13, 34 and 35. We'll check that out. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of it. The lust after it. What's that word? To be gluttonous with money, because it's not just exclusive to food. Which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. You know, that there's nothing wrong with saving money. There's nothing wrong with, seeking a better job to give you better, more financial opportunities and freedom and stability. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're sacrificing your first love, which should be the truth, and your people, Israel, well, it's like the Most High in Christ, which would embody the truth and secure you to your people. Because if you're following the Most High in Christ, you're going to be locked in with your brothers and your sisters. Money can make a mess out of brotherhood and sisterhood. And it can draw you away from what should be your first love. And again, pierce through with many sorrows, the mistakes that you can make, the short-sightedness, the rush, the hasty decisions, because you got a couple bucks and now you're gonna invest in an oil company. It can get a little crazy. But just all that to emphasize, man, pay your tithes, which is the commandment. My sure 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. You can find it in Numbers and what it's like. We do this almost at least weekly, I'd say. Numbers and Micah. Look at Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Extent of the Hebrew, Ma'isha. Let's get it. Nosotros somos la escuela israelita Slakia de conocimiento práctico universal. Comenzamos en una oesta calle 125th Harlem, Nueva York, desde 1969. Si tú eres hombre hispano, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo, el guiro de Dios. Y con esto, mi gente, nuestro tiempo ha terminado. Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahweh, los bendiga, hermanos. Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahweh, cuide sobre ustedes, hermanas. Shalom. Órale. Shout out to Priest and Officer of 1,000, Rapaya Island, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shout out to Trooper Regaz, South Dakota. Trooper Y'all War, South Dakota. Rapid City, Young Man Keto, Rapid City. Sister Shanae, Rapid City, South Dakota in the building. Sister Shema, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right because I think I jacked that up last time. Shemalia Curtis, the rib of Trooper Nathak out of La Crosse, Shalom. That's up north in Wisconsin. All right, so let's get into the meat of this. So one of the main arguments about the law, well, actually, let me pull up this brother's verse too real quick. Let's just see if it's on topic, because if it's on topic, we can address that real quick. So John 13 and 34. Before I go too far. Nope. John chapter 13. verse 34. Oh yeah, yeah. This is definitely going to be on topic with the concept of the law. All right, so let's just pull this one up specifically. All right, first, nope, that's the wrong one. You want to share this one? There we go. John chapter 13, verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. So now, it's not a new concept that we are commanded to love one another. The only caveat that you might be able to throw in there, let's actually keep this on screen, is how he had added how he had loved you, loved us. And again, the people that he's talking to, I don't want to say it almost puts us in a third person kind of perspective. I actually know that wouldn't. It's like that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. Now, again, that's not a new concept in the Bible outside of his personal participation in this, his involvement, the emphasis of, in a sense, following the leader. Because let's get a couple, let's actually open this up. So now just a general breakdown of 34 and 35. Okay. Let's read 35. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. Because he has shown that love to us, and he has demonstrated his love for his people. Again, which is only going to be Israelites. How better, more pure of a way can we demonstrate that we are following his example by also showing that same love and consideration for one another? Now let's take a quick look at the word love. It's because we kind of have a modern concept of it, and sometimes that can conflict with the biblical definition or application of it. Because again, people hear the word hate and they lose their minds. They go absolutely overboard because they hear that word. And it breaks their little hearts. All right, so just using the blue letter. So in the New Testament, using just that specific verse, again, using the blue letter Bible. What is it? G25. Of persons to welcome, to entertain, to be fond of, to love dearly. Or of things to be well pleased, to be contented at, or with a thing. So you got something that's directed towards your people, well, people in general, but you're not often going to love people that you don't know, even though again Christianity will conflate the word and say that they love everybody, which again you'd have to track them in a box, because do they love predators? Do they love the type of criminals that the Bible condemns? They'll always try to use a scapegoat God loves the sinner, hates the sin. We can see of, to welcome, to entertain, to be fond of, to love dearly. So these are the concepts, the application of the word love in the New Testament, because again, that's in the Greek. So I'm wondering if it gives, let's see what the New Testament might hold. It's like in the Old Testament. If it gives us a different, let's check a couple more in the New Testament, because I want to see if they have a different word for it. Oh. All right, so the New Testament, so far from the couple examples that I had seen, it does look like love is pretty much the same word all around. I'm just going to check a couple samples. In the Old Testament, Psalms right away popped up. So let's just check this out. All right, so I mean, nothing too much deeper than really just kind of the application. H157, Ahab. Human love for another includes family, sexual, human appetite for objects such as food, drink, sleep, wisdom, human love for or to God, the act of being a friend, a lover, or a friend, God's love towards man, to an individual. It's like an individual man. It's the different to people Israel, to righteousness, lovely, lovable, love, friends, lovers, to like. I have to have affection for, remember the root. All right. So that affection for is going to kind of, again, that's not going to be definitive of it either. But it doesn't describe anything that's going to be, what's the term that they use? It is a Slovakia, stuck on the word. Unconditional love. I've never seen that concept in the Bible, that love is unconditional. All right, so John chapter 13, verse 35. Get these back up. I'll get the whole chapter up so that we got both verses. So now, real quick, before I go far afield and just start lecturing on the concepts of love and the applications, what specifically did you want to know about between the verses 34 and 35? Was there anything specific that stuck out that you want clarification on? I'll give you a couple seconds to respond while I include a couple possible precepts. there's anything to the trooper regards. All right, select just a general breakdown. All right, no sweat. So let's scroll up a little bit. All right, we're gonna go through this a little bit. Hey, shout out to Trooper Nathak, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shalom, Yabashim Shabakata. To the brothers, y'all Shamar Latan Bashim Yashai, to the sisters. So now if we grow up a little bit more, we're going to see kind of how we got onto this topic. And it was with Yahushua getting ready to wash the brother's feet. So now this was, well, we'll just start from the top. John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Yahushua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. Now that's a huge statement too. It is drawing a definitive on who his love was shared with. Here, having loved his own which were in the world. So now in the UPK, we've got that liberty, that knowledge of knowing that his own were only Israelites. The world around us, they're going to say that it was people who followed God or believed in him were his own. Because they're going to say, a lot of people say that there's only two types of people in the world. You know, people that follow God or people that follow Satan. So the people that follow God are his own, which again, I don't see those verses that are all inclusive of every person on earth being able to qualify as that demographic of being the Most High or Christ's own people. But now it goes even further, which were in the world. So people that he had, again, in this earthly realm, this world, this plane that we're walking and talking and shooting the shit, you know, physically in, along with those, again, who were separated from the body, from the spirit of Christ, who were living in not just sin, but in for lack of a better term, I guess, because again, this even wouldn't be all exhaustive, but living in squalor, the poor, the meek, the downtrodden, the survivors of oppression, those that are still going through with them. Because again, Yahushua wasn't a rich man. The brothers that were with him weren't rich. Actually, I think a couple of them did have some money prior to, but they had put their heart. It's like they had put their treasure where their heart is. So they would have been putting their money into this work of travel expenses, food, lodging, whatever kind of materials or provisions they may need. But having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. Which would kind of, I'm going to say, which is going to segue into John chapter 15, verse 13. Another one, Yahushua's very famous quotes: "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends." So we're not talking about, different aspects of love, just the kind of the different applications of it. Yahushua went so far to defy the Roman government, the Roman Empire, and the sellout Sadducees and Pharisees that were ruling over the scattered, the depressed, the oppressed Israelites that were living under captivity in their own homes, in their own hometowns, under this foreign power. He took it all the way to his death. His love, the laws, the culture, his protection, his consideration. He laid his life down for this truth and for his people. And that kind of goes into the faith aspect of, believing in Christ. We had talked about this a couple of weeks ago, how the scriptures had said his death and resurrection. Again, we would in the UPK, we and in the Bible would teach strictly for the people of Israel, the scattered abroad, and the ones that are homebound. Or it's like I should not homebound. That would mean, well, yeah, that would still work. People that are traveling, trying to come back home, but also the people that were homegrown, that were of that land already, that were already established. Families go back, this, that, and the third, who didn't need to be validated, who knew who they were, who knew what their identity was, but again, under this oppression, they couldn't express it in, I guess, in totality, because we could observe the Passover and the Sabbath, but we didn't have autonomy over the civilian population, over the military, over our protection, our gates. If it were up to us, which again, this is where the people have messed up back then too. Had they banded together under Christ even back then, we could have had the kingdom on earth then too. But when our people had turned on them, made those dirty deals, we lost more than we bargained for. Judas, for example, he lost a hell of a lot more than he thought he was gonna in that deal. His after that demon had left him for his betrayal, the deed was pretty much finished when he hung himself. Which again is the whole point of an unclean spirit. So now back in John chapter 13. So now getting ready for the Passover. Let's go. We started at 1. Let's just keep going. Verse 2. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Verse 3. Yahushua, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he has come from God and went to God. Another verse that would indicate that Christ is not the Most High. Verse 4. He riseth from supper and laid aside his garments and took the towel and girded himself. Now, people right there, we're not going to get too far on to this one, but brother had just taken off what would have been the outer garments, either the more formal wear or just the outer garments. Period, having I don't want to say necessarily something akin to it. Well, I guess nowadays what we would probably call like a t-shirt. Even the the slacks that you got on too. Like my garment last week, the one that I was wearing, that vesture. It would have been like if I would have taken that off and then I would just have my t-shirt on, maybe even my ceremonial pants, like with the fringes and whatnot, or even if I just have regular pants on, or if I change it into something a little bit more comfortable to do work in, basketball shorts and a t-shirt or something, he still would have been clothed. Verse 5. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Verse 6. Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter saith unto him, Lord, dost thou wash my feet? Yahushua answered and said unto him in verse 7, What I do, thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. He was kind of setting them up for the bigger picture. Yahushua had said, no greater love, just to paraphrase, well, we got it right here. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Now that's manifold in the spirit, because you don't have to just die to show to give your life for your brothers. You know, even in some of these servitude settings and manners, like Yahushua was getting ready to, he was already washing brothers' feet, and he was coming Peter's way. And Peter is, I don't want to say he's not shocked by the gesture, but he's, how would I say? He's not trying to be a kiss ass either, though. But he does recognize Christ's authority and position over the men. That it's like, you know, why are you the one doing this? Verse 8, Peter saith unto him, thou shalt never wash my feet. Yahushua answered him, if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. You know, that's a very humble statement. And it's kind of showing like not just what team you're on and who you're pledging your allegiance to, but the servitude again that we offer to one another. Like, if you're not gonna let me be a brother to you, like you ain't being a brother to me. You know, I've seen generals do things that, you know, I would have immediately, you know, sent a young man over to do, or jumped in myself. But if we're not going to allow them, you know, they signed up for this job too. Yahushua signed up to serve too. He was a servant to his people. He was a servant to the Most High. But if you're not going to allow him to be a brother, how can you express that? How could you show that same love and fidelity to your brothers if you're not going to allow him to give the same demonstration, to lead by example? Verse 9, Simon Peter saith unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. He's like, well, shit, man, if we're going to go, like, let's go. Let's go, you know, purify, you know, my entire body. You know, he wasn't asking him to, you know, to give him a bath or nothing like that. This would have been more hyperbole, more metaphorical. But like, listen, if you're like, if that's what you're talking about, you know, let you serve, let you be brother. Listen, go for it. You got it. Verse 10, Yahushua saith to him, he that is washed needeth not, save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all. So now again, going back to the metaphorical, the spiritual side of it, that washing being your spirit, being your past, being that old man in the world that had to be destroyed in order for you to move on. Spiritually being absolved of your sins, being forgiven by the Most High. And how he had talked to who was the woman that was caught up in adultery, you know, go and sin no more. The baptism that we go through, getting this education of not just what sin is, but how to avoid it before it corrupts you. You'll hear often about Yahushua talking about even just the thoughts that you have that can stir up in those moments and cause you to err. But he's saying, you know, again, those of you that are washed, you don't need to be cleaned. You don't need to be cleaned, and it'll be slack. All right, slack. Again, in that baptism, you don't need, if you're washed, you don't need to be cleaned up again. Just like you said, you know, the healthy people, they don't need a doctor. It's the sick people that need to see the physician. But he also knew that there was one amongst them that was still unclean. Verse 11, for he knew who should be, and that's why it says like the verse at the end of verse 10, and ye are clean, talking to the men that are in the room, but not all. Verse 11, for he knew who should betray him, therefore he said, ye are not all clean. Verse 12, so after he had washed their feet and had taken his garments and was set down again, he said unto them, know ye not what I have done to you? Verse 13, ye call me master and Lord, and ye say, well, for so I am. He acknowledged his rank and authority over not just the men that were in league with him, but over the nation of Israel. He was a very humble man, but there's nothing gaudy or out of step for him to say to acknowledge his position and his authority as master and Lord. You know, he took charge. He gave orders. He called the shots. He made things happen. He knew not just, you know, what his mission was, the role that nobody else could have stepped into, but, you know, his role to play in all this. He was a take charge kind of brother. Verse 14, if I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. So again, that same care that he took for them to clean them up, making sure that they are also taking the same consideration to clean their brothers up too as they go along. This is setting them up for the future on how to run schools, how to build nations, how to take care of their people. Verse 15, for I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you. This is going to kind of echo that spirit of in verse 35. Just kind of scroll down real quick. Wish to scroll down a little faster. By this all men shall know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. And then verse 44, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. This is echoing that sentiment. This is what he's talking about. Verse 15, for I have given you an example, that the love that he has for them, that ye should do as I have done to you. That same love that I have shown you guys, even by washing your feet. Now, again, the washing of the feet is still even symbolic because it's representing cleaning them up. And that baptism. And again, we're not talking about John's baptism where it was just dunking you in water, and which was symbolic. He even said it was symbolic. But Christ's baptism of the Holy Spirit, washing of the water by the word, by the teaching. You know, that's what the words are doing. You're not, I don't know, it sounds like it'd have been something like Sesame Street or something like that, where they would have taken a shower or a bath with words. And who was the Count Dracula? He was the counter dude. On one of those word a day or letter a day, you know, episodes. I can just see one of them, you know, in the tub washing themselves with letters and words, you know, made out of blocks and whatnot. You know, it's not that. That baptism is the teaching. The words is the instruction, the education, the lessons that you're learning, the orders, the instruction that he's giving you. He didn't just always speak to them in parables. Again, he gave them orders. He's given them an order in this also. Let's see where the metaphor in 14 representing the care, and again the charge of the care of and the responsibility that these men are going to have over the people after he's gone, and even us to this day in the UPK under Commander General Yohana, the responsibility and the burden that we have of watching out for one another, teaching one another, young men. There was a time when Commander General Yahanna was a young man. There was a time when Yahushua was a young man too, but again, he had the spirit from birth. But there's a maturing there's an experience gain. I should say there's an experience that needs to be lived before you've got that wisdom of being able to teach other people how to take better care of their lives, take more consideration and awareness of their actions. And that's how we avoid sin. Verse 15, for I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Verse 16, verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. Again, he would a lot of times he would take that low seat. Again, a very humble brother, but he was not without. He wasn't above. What's the pulling rank? It wasn't above pulling rank. He would give orders. He would check people. He would make the decisions. But he was also a very humble man. Verse 17, if ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. So it's not just, a feeling, like you can't just mentally follow the laws or follow the orders. They're largely going to be physical acts that you do have to carry out, whether it's typing up a report every week, whether it's sending in your camp fees or the rent and utility bills for the schools, whether it's building camp equipment, whether it's sweeping up the school, whether it's organizing food and clothing giveaways on the reservation, whether it's framing pictures, whether it's building walls, fixing doors, changing light bulbs, taking out garbage, marriage counseling, youth mentorships. No matter what it might be, we're not better than the people that we're out here to serve. You know what I'm saying? And again, this would also, it would go hand in hand about his humility, but also his awareness and application of his authority. The servant is not greater than his Lord. So there it shows clearly that he acknowledges rank and order. Neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. 17, if ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them. Verse 18. I don't want to say it more or less. It says the same thing. Well, we'll keep going. Verse 18. I speak not of you all. I know whom I have chosen, but that the scripture may be fulfilled. He that eateth bread with me hath lifted up his heel against me. So this is just going to be talking about Judas. Again, he knows how this is supposed to go down. That he is to lose his life for his people, and it's going to come at the hand of one of the brothers that are close to him, that are in his circle. Verse 19. Now I tell you before it come, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am he. So he just kind of set him up like a foretime, like, listen, man, when you see it all go down, you're going to know, again, these scriptures, the prophecies, it was talking about me. You're going to have to guess no more. You ain't going to play a guessing game. You're not going to have to wonder. Won't be any more confusion. It's about me. And you're going to see how all the prophecies, how he's fulfilling them. And it's not going to be some ambiguous coincidence. Verse 20. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that receiveth whomsoever I send receiveth me. And he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. So this is all about doing the work of the Most High and Christ. If Christ sends you brothers and sisters to fill the ranks of, of your I don't want to say congregation or church. I will try to use something a little bit more dated to that time, but we'll just use school. But if he sends bodies into the school to help build that body of Christ and that truth, you can't reject them if they're being led by the Most High Spirit to come home. I think we're getting not in John, but I believe there's gonna be another. I'd have to double check this, but something to the sentiment of also people that are turning their backs on us. Don't go sitting there trying to break your neck to win them over. You know, where we're not going to force crowns on nobody's head. Slack you. What's the verse about? You know, if you admonish somebody 3 times or more and they still don't hear you, you know, kick the dust off your feet. Move on with your day. Verse 21, when Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, verily, verily, I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. You know, again, even though he knew what happened, you know, again, this is also how you know he's not the Most High God. He wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have been as vexing. You know, this is a brother that I'd have to double check to see if he kind of noticed this about his spirit early on, or if this didn't kind of come to his attention until a little bit later, after it was more, maybe it was just, you know, a time lapse on revelations on when that character and that spirit was revealed on Judas. But you can see that he was troubled in spirit. Verse 22. Then the disciples looked on one another, doubting of whom he spake. Like, you know, it wasn't me. It's not going to be me. You know, on my mama, it's not going to be me. You know, on the dead homies, you know, I got your back. All my life, I swear to God. This, that, and the third. On my mother's eyes, on the graves of my grandchildren, on the souls of my, you know, pet hamster. Like, that's why we say, let your yea be nay and your nay be nay. Don't swear on nothing. Don't swear on the Bible. Don't swear on God. Don't swear on your house. Don't swear on your kids. Don't swear on everything. Don't swear on you. Just be a man of your word, or man or woman. Be a man or woman. Be a brother or sister of your word. Have that integrity and have the reputation of having that integrity, so that when you do say something, it can be relied on. Verse 23, now there was leaning on Yahushua's bosom one of his disciples whom Jesus loved. Now, it wasn't somebody laying on his chest, but he was close. I'm like, he might have had like his arm on his shoulder or something like that, leaned in close. Verse 24, Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake. Verse 25, he then lying on Yahushua's breast saith unto him, Lord, who is it? And again, just a brother that is just real close, playing it close to the chest, just real close with Yahushua. He wasn't taking a nap. Verse 26, Yahushua answered, he it is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it. What was that? Like either like a chunk of like meat or bread dipped in like the gravy or the juice. He just let them know. And again, that's not really anything. I wouldn't look too much into that. But that's just the method in which he chose to outwardly demonstrate who was going to stab him in the back. When I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. Verse 27, and after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Yahushua unto him, that thou doest, do quickly. So, you know, you were just telling after he was giving him, like, you know, get on with it, man. Verse 28, now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him. Because again, they didn't know in what manner it was going to go down. And I don't think Yahushua knew. I'd have to double check on that too. I'll have to ask Cap if he knew specifically the steps that we're going to be taking, that was going to end his life, or just some of the players involved. He got walked through the streets having to carry this big old dumbass log or a cross, that crucifix on his back. That them crucifix, man, they stake you up like 15, even if it's 5-10 feet off the ground. Back then, solid logs like that, it wouldn't have been no feather. Again, going through the streets, getting whipped, getting beaten, getting spat at, getting stuff thrown at him. It wasn't a walk in the park. But I don't think he knew all that was going to go down, but just who was going to end up betraying him. Verse 29, for some of them thought because Judas had the bag that Jesus had said unto him, buy those things that we have need of against the feast. Again, that little saying that Yahweh had said to him, that thou doest, Yahweh said unto him, that thou doest, do quickly. They didn't know what he was talking about. So they thought, all right, because Judas had the money, he must have thought, all right, quickly go run to the store, go grab us, more cups. We need more cups. We need more soda. We need more ice. More napkins. Ice and napkins. Listen, anytime that anybody's planning events, whether it's local or abroad, if you're on those duties, make sure you got ice and napkins. Good night. Buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. They just thought it was like just a money issue, or whatever the order that again, they didn't know the details of it or what he was referring to. And because it would seem like when Peter was leaning close to him, asking him these questions, and Yahushua had told him, whoever I give this sop to, that's going to be the one. It doesn't sound like that was spoken abroad to all the brothers there. So everybody else not hearing those kind of key details, but just hearing him say, because now he's talking to Judas, hearing him say, listen, what you're going to do quickly. Them just kind of catching wind of that part of the conversation, thinking, again, maybe just have them run an errand, donate to the poor, run to the corner store or something. Something along them lines. Verse 30, then having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night. Verse 31, therefore, when he was gone out, Yahweh said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. Again, approaching that out, approaching that last time that they will be that they're going to see him like this before he gets ascended. Verse 32, if God be glorified in him, God shall also glorify him God shall also glorify him in himself, and shall straightway glorify him. Verse 33. And this is again indicative of Christ not being the Most High, receiving the glory from the Most High, making his Father proud. That's the glory that God will be glorified in him by, following through with the task that he was sent out there to do, making his Father proud. That's how fathers get glorified in their children. That's how brothers get glorified in their brothers. Watching our brothers succeed at something it's a beautiful thing. We would never stop anybody from gaining shine, notoriety, money, fame, wealth, power, all that. Go get it. Go get it, and let's put it to work. There's a couple brothers that were in the school that had a little fame to them, and just I don't know what it was. For them individually, outside of the little bit of exchange that we had seen on the social media platforms, where again, Facebook is not where you air shit out. Little girls do things like that. If it's something that's regarding this brotherhood that you just can't overcome, maybe you don't agree with, you don't understand it, go to him and him alone. We ain't got to make everything a public damn issue. But then some brothers think that they got a point to make, and then, well, Shit, you see how that happens. You always see how that turns out. Verse 33, little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you, letting them know again, there's going to be time like you're about to be without me. And you're going to have these moments where you're going to wish that I was there again. And, oh, damn, I hate to even breathe life into this, but y'all remember them bracelets, WWJD? Like, you're going to have them kind of moments. When it's like, ye shall seek me, not just looking like, hey, did he go to this town? Is he in that house? Is he on the road traveling somewhere else? But even like, damn, like his teachings, his lessons, what would he do in these situations? Seeking that counsel, seeking the lesson, seeking again the teaching, the wisdom that he had given us while he was here with us. But letting them know, like, listen, again, my job, my task, it's mine and mine alone. Y'all can't come with me on this trip. So he's leaving some parting words, which is going to go into what the brother was asking about. Verse 34, a new commandment I give unto you, which isn't a new commandment. We've seen this all throughout the scriptures with and that's like, let me try to approach this a different way, because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, even though the gospel was written within the next 100 years after Yahushua had passed, well, I should say completed, the New Testament having been completed. So some of these records, being written in real time, even this being John's account. So it's not like, we got John's account, but them in that moment could have pulled a precept from Luke or pulled a precept from Mark or, Matthew, because they were contemporary and given their vantage point. We're just getting we're getting this this view from John about, again, this is what Yahushua would have said. It would have been read, a new commandment I give you. The law had always been to love one another, to love thy neighbor. That's in the 10 Commandments. That's all throughout the scriptures of the Old Testament and the Apocrypha. But he's refreshing this for the brothers. He's making it more, I guess, maybe modernizing it for their time and in space right then and there. Putting a new painted coat on, or new coat of paint, like I said that backwards. Putting a new coat of paint on. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another. This would be the only kind of new nuance to it, is when he says, as I have loved you. So again, just telling them the same sentiment back in, we'll scroll back up to, what was it, 15 and 16. Yeah, 15 and 16. For I have given you an example. That love that he's professing to these brothers, the love that he's shown them, love each other the same way that I have loved you. And he had given examples of like washing the feet, the ministering, the cleaning being the principal focus of it, the baptism, that cleaning, that renewing of that man's spirit. Because again, we had people that were living in the world, who knows what these guys, were doing prior to Yahushua walking up to that beach and getting them brothers off the boats while they were fishing. It doesn't really say what kind of lives they led prior to. How how knowledgeable they were of their culture, the laws, how engaged or how involved they may have been in their own lives prior to Yahushua fishing them in. But this is these set the verse of 15 and 16 with 34 and 35 kind of go hand in hand. Scroll back down. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. Verse 35, by this all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love to one another. So if you're teaching in his ways, after his man, if you're the consideration that you're showing to your brothers, the care that you're taking for them, the servitude that you're offering, as well as the guidance and the leadership. Because again, it's not just about being a leader. You're not always going to be sitting there, hey brother, what can I do for you this morning? What can I give for you? Sometimes you're going to have to instruct them. You're going to have to lead them. He was a shepherd. He had to lead the sheep back home. Sometimes you have to tell these brothers, listen, it might be wise for you to quit that job. Go pick up this other slavery. It's closer to home. You're going to be making a little bit less money, but now you ain't got to spend so much on gas or the bus to get to and from. That's a hectic environment you're working in right now. Over here, it's a little looser, a little more mild. You got the evenings to yourself. You can be with your family. You can be at class. You can hold some more or be on media where the brothers need you at the school. You're going to be more freed up for events, for camp. As a leader, you're also going to have to make decisions. And that it might be decisions in other people's lives. They can choose to accept. Because, really, it's more so, not everything is going to be advice. Where you might move or what job you might take, things like that might just be suggestions. But things like, I guess they all could either be in the form of orders or suggestions, because you can suggest to a brother, I suggest you stop smoking cigarettes. Now you can also give them the order, listen, I'm ordering you to stop smoking cigarettes. It's up to that brother or sister if they're going to follow the order. You can also present it to them like, listen, it might be wise to not play around with something that'll give you cancer. Eventually, it says it right on the pack that it's threatening your life and livelihood and your health. You might not want to, but you're your own man. We're not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do. But stop doing it. It's not always going to be just catering to somebody's needs and sensitivity. Sometimes you're just going to have to, call the shots. But that love, that care that you have for one another, that's how people are going to know. Again, when they were calling them Christians in the book of Acts, it wasn't a pleasantry. It wasn't a compliment to them. But for us, like the same way that we take the word nigga, and it can mean one of a million different things. Like for us today, like I would consider myself a Christian, like a biblical Christian. I'm not a Christian though. I'm a Christian. How the Bible would say I'm a Christian, how the Bible would define what a Christian is. I'm a Christian. But I ain't no damn Christian. I pray you understand. But if we're living our lives by the selfless and open-hearted love and brotherhood that Christ had given to his people that were down with him, people are going to recognize those attributes. They're going to know, listen, this is how, like, he's walking and talking like this. He's celebrating the high holy days. He's teaching other people how to celebrate them too, how to read the scriptures, how to sound the shofar, how to hold the Sabbath service, how to prophesy on the scriptures that were written before time, how to call out these events of the future. They're going to see the example that we are following, and they're going to know by our actions that we were his disciples. I guess we might as well, the last few verses really ain't got nothing to do with it. But Salaki, guys, let me know if that suffices your question. What was that, like almost an hour later? Salaki. Appreciate y'all sticking with me. Got my brother Ayar in the building. Shalom. Shalom. My nigga. That lowrider event was beautiful. Saw the pictures from it. I missed a hell of a good time, man. I hate the plantation. I hate this shit. All right, what time is it? Yikes, that almost took us to it. All right, UPK guys. All right, Most High in Christ. The water for sticking with me through that whole dissertation. But that's how we know. And again, Christ kept the laws. All they would have had to go off of at that time would have been the Torah, or what we call today the Torah Tanakh. They would have had the law of Moses to go off. That's what he would have taught his people. He just taught them better. He just taught them how to avoid having to shame yourself with a sacrifice. You know, it got to the point the gaudiness of some of these brothers just having things ready and set, like, you know, stacking up money so that you can just keep on catching speeding tickets or parking tickets. Almost like it's cool to break the law. Oh, he's such a rebel. Look at him now. Nothing scares him, right? Such a badass. It's a shameful thing. It should be a shameful thing to break the law. To have to constantly salakia. I hate that feeling myself. Any of my failures, you know, brothers that know me, it's, you know, I take it to heart. And you learn from it. But that's the other point of it too. You know, you're supposed to, Lord allow you to learn from it, and you get back up and you put your best foot forward, and you can't let that poison you. You can't let that poison the work that's expected of you, the work that you gave your word that you would accomplish and commit to. You can't let that throw you off. Adawan Lakam was doing this excellent series on distractions, and, you know, enduring until the end. Captain Barmak also did a couple classes on endurance. You know, you can't let those mistakes shake you. The lives that we're coming from, I don't want to expect it of brothers to have to make mistakes, to fall short. But it's kind of almost expected of brothers to make mistakes and fall short. Like, you're not exactly surprised, especially when they're young men. Young men, troopers, younger officers. You're not exactly going to be shocked if they, you know, fumble a job. But it shouldn't be expected of anybody. Now, and to kind of illustrate that point too, Yahushua expected, because again, the spirit that he was catching, the information he was privy to, he expected Judas to stab him in the back. He expected Peter to turn his back on him. You know what I'm saying? And we saw the shame that those brothers went through when they ended up fulfilling those suspicions. allegations that Yahweh Shai had pinned on. You're gonna betray me. You're gonna denounce me. It led Judas to his death. I don't know if death is an appropriate PC term I can say here, but it led Judas to his unalivement. Right, it's your question. Did they make it to the kingdom? You talking about Judas and Simon? Because I mean, we're still waiting for the kingdom. So I mean, it's not for me to say who would and would not be a part of that 144,000 when the kingdom, comes to hand. But it's and I don't ever want to assume. Yeah, Peter. I was talking about Peter and Judas. Judas betrayed him for them 30 shekels of silver, which I think was like today it would have been like $5,000 or something like that. No, nothing too crazy of an amount to stab your brother in the back, to betray him like that. Listen, man, you couldn't pay me enough to do something that foul. Yeah, but Peter and Judas was the ones we were just talking about. But did they make it into the kingdom? The kingdom isn't at hand yet. So now, because of the work that we can see Peter having done afterwards and being established as the cornerstone or the rock of the church that Yahweh Shai was building his foundation on, for the brothers that were going forward, having it led by Peter. You don't see any other examples of Peter losing his footing or stumbling again. So again, I don't like to speculate on who's gonna make it, who did make it, who ain't gonna make it. On the left and right, Lord allow, I'm in that number. When the saints come marching in, Salaki. I don't mean that for that to be corny. I ain't trying to mock it or nothing, but just again, Christianity, they got some catchy tunes. What can I say? Salaki, the brother wants to break down on Genesis 37:28. We can get that real quick. Genesis. No, that's not Genesis. There we go. Genesis 37. All right, scroll down to 28. That is going slow. All right, Genesis chapter 37, verse 28. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. So this was when Joseph had a dream that his father and his brothers would submit to him. His brothers didn't like hearing that shit. So they plotted against him. I think all of them but Benjamin. I think Benjamin wasn't there, or I think Benjamin was the only one that tried to go back for him. It's like I just want to check something out real quick. Reuben, Slack, it was Reuben, I believe. Yeah, Reuben tried to go back. All right, so Joseph had the dream. He was given a vision that his father and his brothers were gonna bow to him. His brothers took offense to that. Judah being, I guess, the main shit starter of this situation, they found a pit They threw him in. They were like, nah, that is not happening. Because they couldn't kill him. They didn't want to kill him. Let's scroll up a little bit. Starting at verse. All right, so really we can start at verse. No, we almost got to start at the top. Yeah. All right, verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, so that they were already kind of salty with Joseph just because he had his father preferred him over. I don't even want to say it like that, but you know, he was the father's favorite kid. Because he was the son of his old age, he made him a coat of many colors. Verse 4, when his brothers saw that the father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him. They could not speak peaceably unto him. So they were jealous. They talking mad shit. Verse 5, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren. And he told it his brethren, and they hated him even more. Verse 6, and he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. Verse 7, for behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brother, verse 8, and his brother said unto him, thou shalt indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. So his father loved him more than the rest of the brothers, showed him more favor. And now he's having these dreams of being of having dominion, being over, because it said and made obeisance to my sheep. So obedience is essentially essentially what obeisance is talking about here. Obedience. They're going to be obedient to it. Verse 9, and he dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brethren and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Talking about his mother and father, and then the rest of his brothers. Verse 10, and he told it to his father and to his brother, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this the dream? What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brother indeed come bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? So again, that was his favorite boy, right? But now he tells him this dream, and he's like, are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? That don't make no sense. Like, it's not happening. That's kind of the sentiment of everybody right now. Like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Verse 11, his brethren envied him, and his father observed this, but his father observed the same. And his brother went to feed their flocks in Shechem. So his father it sounded like his father had kind of meditated on him. Verse 13, Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock at Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here I am. So he's about to go, sending Joseph, because the rest of the brothers went off, the rest of the sons went off. Like, forget all this, man. Let's go feed the flock. Let's go graze these sheep and shit. Joseph was left behind, and Jacob or Israel had said to Joseph, like, all right, go with your brothers, man. Go check up on them. And they bring me the word again. And he sent them out of the vale of Hebron and came to Shechem. And a certain man, verse 15, a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? And he says back, seek my brethren. And the man said, they went that way. So he goes that way. And when they had saw him afar off, all right, so now his brothers had seen him approaching. Verse 18, And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against to slay him. So now they were going to kill him at first. They were going to kill him at first. But, and then they kind of mock him too. One said to another, behold, the dreamer cometh. So now verse 20, again, they say, let us slay him. Let's cast him into the pit. Let's just, kill him, throw him and dump him in the pit. Like in a ditch on the side of the road. The kind of low sentiments, doing them dirty. They was going to do them foul. Now Reuben heard it, verse 21, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. So he was the voice of reason. And again, they were going to do this all over because they were jealous of him. And then again, mocking his vision, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And verse 21, Reuben heard it, delivered him out of their hands, said, nah, let's not kill him. Shed no blood, but cast him into the pit. So he didn't want blood on his hands, but he was also like, all right, we got to do something, but let's not do that. Let's just throw him in the pit, wilderness to take care of him. And then that way, his kind of hands will be washed to him of at least, any harm coming to him. And we can take the dead body. We can pick up the dead body and we can bring that back, and we can tell them, where is it? Later down, because later on they say that I think they bring back the coat of the many colors, and they say like a wild boar or something got him, and then they kind of show the evidence of it. You know what I'm saying? So they were going to set up this whole elaborate kind of scheme. But in verse 24, they took him, cast him into the pit. Pit was empty, there's no water in it. They sat down to eat bread. So after they did this, they sat down and broke bread with each other. They lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, the company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spice, green, balm, and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brother, verse 26, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? So now he's about to weigh the pros and cons of, all right, well, if we do this, what good is that going to do for us? Verse 27, come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers were content with it. So they were going to sell him into slavery, into human trafficking. And because again, we got laws on these kind of dealings with each other. Like if you find a man that was stolen, kidnapped by another man, the man who did that offense, he's going to get put to death. So we've got the lived experience even back then of these kind of dirty, kind of wicked tactics, because slavery wasn't meant to be like chattel slavery that you see today. That like servitude. Believe it or not, people, there's a right and a wrong way to conduct these kind of affairs. Get in the class and we'll teach you. We'll get into that topic at another time. But I was like, y'all ain't even seeing this. I'm thinking that y'all are seeing the words with me. And see if that did anything. No. Where does it say it was a dream? In the beginning. In the beginning, back in like verses like 5 and 6. There's 37, 30. Did he sold his brother for 20 pieces of silver? We'll see how we're gonna read a little bit and see how if they mention how much. Yeah, verse 28, 20 pieces of silver. Where does it say it was a dream? Like the events weren't the dream, if that's what you're asking. But the dream that he had of his brothers bowing down to him, that was the dream, that was the vision. And I believe we read that back up in like verse 5 and 6. But I think we're kind of up to speed now because it said let's sell them to the Ishmaelites. And that way it's out of our hands and we got a couple bucks off it. Verse 28. Then there passed by Midianites. So the Ishmaelites are already gone, and then now these Midianites are coming by, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites. Or Slakia. Midianites being among Midianites were an Ishmaelite family. Slakia. So they're just kind of pinpointing the family group that of these Ishmaelites, because Midianites are Ishmaelites. It's like you kind of explain that in a roundabout way, but they sold them for 20 pieces of silver, and then they brought Joseph to Egypt. So if your question is, what's all going on here? Yeah, the brothers had stabbed him in the back and sold him upriver. Yes, him being in the pit was not a dream. That was not, this whole scenario, that was not fictitious. That wasn't just something playing around in his head. That was real life what happened to him. They threw him in a pit to avoid having unalive him and having that blood on their hands, and then having to do the whole cover up and elaborate storytelling. That this kind of helps eliminate some of the evidence and some of the I guess paperwork that they'd have to clean up. So they did sell for 20 pieces of silver. Yep. So for 20 pieces of silver. Now I don't know how much that would have been worth back then compared to now. I don't, just pieces of silver. I don't know if that's if they're even really designating the weight of it. What tribe did this? All the tribes. All the tribes. All right. So Joseph, I don't believe Dan was here. Yeah, I don't think Dan might have been here. Yeah. But Joseph was here, so it wasn't Ephraim and Manasseh weren't there at the time, because Ephraim and Manasseh are Joseph's kids. Joseph is Israel's son. So Ephraim and Manasseh would have been the grandkids that took Joseph's spot in the inheritance. So let's just go down the line. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Gad. Who is that? Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, and then Dan probably would have been included. Had conspired against Joseph and threw him in the pit. Because it sounds like it didn't seem like they excluded any of the other brothers from being involved in this. Like when they all left to feed the flock in Shechem, it doesn't sound like they had held anybody back. So you can only really assume or gather that it was the rest of the brothers who had plotted against them. Say that. Then those heathens that picked them up and sold them for more money, I believe. Yeah, it changed hands, I think, at least one more time, because some Ishmaelites were heading to Egypt, and then they sold them into servitude and captivity into Egypt, where he ended up flipping that whole script on them and then rising in power, which is where the culmination of his dream comes true, because it was how many years later? I think like another 20 years or something like that, of the hardships that he had to go through before he came into power. There was droughts in the land after that for some years, and his family was kind of living on, I don't say on the outskirts of Egypt, but Hebron wasn't too far from the land of Egypt. But the famine hit Israel and his brothers. So Jacob and his brothers had felt they had taken the hit of the drought and the famine, and they had to go to Egypt to try to buy some provisions, buy some more seeds, more provisions, resources. They ended up having to do that like a couple times, and each time they did, Joseph was there and recognized them. And these brothers and the father too, they're coming to him. At first they didn't know, and they're bowing down to him, kind of kissing up to him. Well, I don't even want to say necessarily kissing up, but having to subject themselves to these rulers, Joseph being one of them, in order for them to get the provisions that they need to survive the famine. They ended up running through those provisions, ended up having to go back. And then it was discovered that it was Joseph. They kind of had a reconciling. And I believe Joseph had forgiven him. He didn't hold that much ill will against him, and he went through some rough shit as a result of it. But he was still happy to see his father and his brothers. But yeah, they did him bogus, and it was not a dream. Did him bogus, it was not a dream. They did not love their brother the same way that Yahushua would have loved him. They had failed in that mission, and that was the mission that existed even in their time. I'm kind of glad how this kind of came into one another. But that was the whole scope of the Spirit even way back then. At the beginning of the nation of Israel, to love one another the same way that you almost can't say for back then the same way that Christ would have loved them, because they wouldn't have known that. But outside of the spirit that they were given, everybody knows what family feels like. Everybody, you got that. Even if it's just that one person in the family, you got the person that you love. Cousins, brothers, parents, sisters, what have you. It's you know what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to trust one another. You're supposed to feel safe around one another. If you're doing something dumb, you expect them to, I don't want to say slap the taste out your mouth and get you right, but you expect them to, either talk you out of doing something stupid, show you how to do something better, be an example for you. If they're not the screw up of the family, perhaps, but that same love that Yahushua was talking about, that was the whole spirit of the law. Because if you look at it, it's outside of the idolatry that we were forbidden to exercise against the Most High. The rest of the laws really are, it's kind of civil interactions, familial and societal interactions. Not stealing, not committing adultery, coveting, the jealousy, the senseless violence. It's, we didn't have too many examples of this back then, because Judah and the brothers definitely weren't extending that love to Joseph. But now you're going to see later on, I don't know what chapter this was in. So this is Genesis 37. So 38, 39, maybe even in 40, where you're going to see Joseph's love that, to them, even though they had betrayed him, put his life in utter jeopardy. But he still loved them. And, they apologized for what had happened. And, they moved on from it as a family. And he was in a much better position to provide for him. He got him a good spot off to the side, and hooked him up. So I guess Joseph, would have been a solid example back in these days of the type of love that Yahushua had expressed to his disciples to lead the men in carrying, forward in the truth after Yahushua was going to leave them. This is how you demonstrate that you're my disciples, by showing this kind of love to your brothers. Now we take that a step further. And I think I'll end with this verse. I had something else. I know my love is brethren. Salakia. Might want to retype that. My love is brother in the school, sir. I think I know what you mean. Listen, man, we love y'all too. And the best ways that we can show that is with consideration and understanding, and be relating to some of the struggles that we're going through. Everybody might be going through something different in those moments, but it's not like we haven't seen this stuff before. relationship issues, financial issues, slavery issues, custodial issues. It's not like we haven't, run into these brick walls. Take advantage of that with your brothers. Learn if there's something that you're stuck on, we're never going to know about it unless you share that with us. Let us wash your feet, man. Let us serve you. That's the job. You ain't got to take these burdens on alone. This is how you show the love that Yahushua had for his people. This is how you demonstrate that you are a disciple of Christ, showing the same kind of love and the consideration that he had for his people. And furthermore, the verse that we're going to end up on, 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. Share this tab instead. 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. Not the book of John, but 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God. So now that we talk a lot about the love that we would show to one another, which again is in the law. So it's not a new commandment that Yahushua was giving us, but putting a fresh coat of paint on it. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. I just want to double check something real quick. It's a quote. And actually, we can read this from the top too. 1 John chapter 5, verse 1. Whosoever believeth that Yahushua is the Christ is born of God. And everyone that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him. So again, the brothers that are called by his name, that he put the spirit on to come home, those brothers that he sent, brothers and sisters that he sends your way, they're sent by him. So those are the same ones that we're supposed to extend that love to. That safety, the camaraderie, the open house, the food, the whatever comforts we can afford. Verse 2, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. Verse 3, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, his commandments are not grievous. So we go on and on and on. But if we're talking about how we show our love to our brothers, the same way that Christ had shown us, the same way that Christ had shown us how to love God is how we're supposed to love God too. Christ kept his commandments. We are very reasonably expected to keep the commandments also. And that they're not grievous. You shouldn't be walking around like, oh, bummer. We got to teach class. Oh, bummer, we got to pay tithes. Oh, bummer, we got to send in our camp fees. Oh, bummer, we got to hold tomorrow. Oh, bummer, we got to take all these blue chairs and put them back downstairs into the storage. And then we got to build this fence around our storage unit to secure our stuff. Oh, bummer. It might be some hard work. It might be tough. And you might sweat and you might, cut your knuckles up on something. But it's not meant to be, regrettable. We're in this for the long run. If you fancy yourself a man after God, that's where you're gonna lay up your treasure, and that's how you're gonna show where your heart is. Listen, man, get ready. July 31st, Midwest Fire Weekend is going down to Chicago. Shout out to Priest and Captain MILWAUKEE, Big Priest, Midwest Monster Mayhem. What else we got? The memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. I love it so much that it is on 9/11. Don't forget. Never forget. Never forget 9/11. Never forget the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. Sounding the alarm. With that, we'll leave it to you. Shalom. Y'all Bashim, y'all Shah, Barakatham to the brothers. Y'all Shamar, Latan Bashim, y'all Shah to the sisters. We are out. Israel, pay your tithes, man. Pay your tithes. ISPK.com. Not the hard couple letters, calm. You know, let's get to it.